right, welcome back. Today's project is going to be this bathroom. We're going to try to get rid of the stained old nasty wallpaper. That's ugly. Of course, outlets, light switches are both getting replaced. I might fix the towel racks, put something a little bit newer. That needs moved anyway, but you can tell this was painted the same pink that's in every other room. So I got a steamer. We're gonna try to start taking this down, fix any holes or anything behind it. There's a little bit of a crack up there, but it looks like it might have been repaired at one point. So I also have another light. So I think this room, not entirely sure, that does nothing. And if you look up there, right there, you can kind of see a square. So I think the vent went bad for this room, which I wouldn't mind replacing it. This light switch just controls the light. So I assume dual would have been for the fan, which if it was a fan, it's definitely getting replaced, but we're not painting the ceiling probably in this video. I just want the wallpaper down, outlets replaced. I don't know, we might replace the light, I haven't decided, but this is just gonna be a quick little refresh. That wallpaper is everywhere. We're not doing anything crazy yet, but like I said, I know this is boring. Most of these videos are just about painting so far, but I'm trying to get it to like a neutral ground and then we can start doing other stuff. But let me see if I can find my tripod. I've lost that. That's how that's going, even with pretty good steamer. I think what I'm gonna do is like I did with the wallpaper or the border in the bathroom. I'm gonna try to peel the face of it off, which looks like it's going pretty well. And then soften up the, what would be like the tan paper underneath, which is where the glue and stuff is. And then just scrape it off. So it's gonna be a slow process. That was like 3-4 minutes for just that. All right, so that seems to be working well. I switched out the nozzle on that one. Big fan of that steamer, but there is a little bit of glue residue, like where the wallpaper met. So I think I'm gonna run, let me back up. I think I'm gonna run to Lowe's later, see if, I think they have some fluid remover. Of course, there's a nail pump I'm gonna have to fix, why not? And you could tell how well they painted this before they put the wallpaper up. So let me put you back on time lapse. Sorry if it's kind of hard to see. I don't have my tripod. And we'll see how much more we can get. I think I'm gonna pull this off since I already started and continue to work that way to the left. So back on time lapse. What a terrible process. Terrible, but it does look way better. So this is kind of what I'm worried about here. This is why I want to see if Walmart has glue remover. So maybe, I guess once this is all removed, I could spray the walls down and try to get stuff like this and whatever else is missed. But they really did do a terrible job with painting. I don't know if there's an easier way of doing this, but pretty much I'm just gonna pull the paper off. This makes, I don't think there's a clean way to do this. It's just gonna be messy, but if there's an easier way, feel free to comment because this is terrible. All right, probably gonna stop time lapse here. I'm just gonna finish this up. You get the idea of how to do this. That's how I'm doing it. Not saying there isn't other ways, but I'll show you updates as we go along. Like if I can get to the, pretty much like over here, I'll show you what it looks like. But even with the ugly pink, way better than whatever that is. So, like I said, like a nail pop up there. That little white spot right there is, I don't know what that is, but I ended up scraping it off. It's something on the drywall, which, I mean, this will make it as flat as possible. So, haven't decided what color we're gonna paint this. It's going to be all in one video though. So once I figure it out, I'll show you that part too. But let me get a little more done. I'm gonna off camera so I can listen to some music. I gotta go check on my son again. He's probably tearing the house down. And then, yeah, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so at least got to there. I gotta run to the bank. That took probably like an hour to do that. Got all down there. There is a little tiny bit right there I gotta fix. And of course that little spot there. There's a little more glue on it than I'd like. So definitely need to see if I have glue remover for wallpaper at Lowe's. So that's gonna be my next thing. I'd like to get this back section done today. You can definitely see the smoke. I won't call it smoke damage, but you can see the nicotine, especially on this piece right in here. It's kind of gross. Over there it's just colored too. So, all right, that's all I'm gonna do today. So obviously I got a little bit up there to do. I have to go back. There's a lot of glue residue on this. Well, that's done. Obviously there's some drywall patching I have to do. Still got to do the rest of this. I don't know who thought that this color or this wallpaper was a good idea. I hate this pink. So anyway, I'm finished for today. We're gonna finish up, but whenever I'm done with this, tomorrow, I'm going to probably go over the walls with the steamer again, and then one last time with some Goo Gone to get rid of any of the residue left. Especially, that's pretty bad. Especially like up here, you can see on the walls how it looks dirty. That's just glue residue. So I think they used extra glue around the shower because the further away you get, the easier it is to scrape. So still gonna have to pull all the towel rack and stuff off. And I might have enough switches and everything. So anyway, we're gonna finish this up for today. This video isn't done, but I gotta figure out what we're gonna paint this room to. Bonus part of the video, still need curtains, but Hunter Douglas blinds finally came in. I forget the color of these, but really, really nice, especially compared to paper shades when they keep falling. So finish pulling wallpaper probably tomorrow. Still gotta hang up curtains in here. Another bonus part of the video. I've been trying to avoid doing drywall or wallpaper because I hate it, but these are really, really nice Hunter Douglas blinds. They are room darkening for our bathroom and stuff, so big fan of them. Anyway, we're gonna finish the other ones. I'll show you my other son's room, which I gotta install still, and our bedroom. Get rid of these paper shades. This room had none. Still gotta hang curtains, but that's not a right now project. Same thing in this room. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of this paper shade. One in our bedroom's the same way. This is actually a replacement because they're so crappy, the first one fell. And ours is barely hanging on too, so let me get this up. All right, that one's done. We got one room left to do, which is ours. And I got a bunch of trash to throw away. But the bathroom, I'll walk over here real quick. This is all just bonus, but the bathroom is the real project here. I don't know what color the wife wants to paint it. And of course we're doing outlets, light switches. I think there was a ceiling fan in here at one point, not sure. But the towel rack and the wooden toilet paper hole and towel rack are coming out too. I'll have to patch the holes because since the toilet got moved, that is further backwards and your leg touches it. And I'm tired of this wood because I'm sure it probably holds cigarette smell. This bathroom, you could definitely, it is seeped into the drywall, so hopefully it will smell a whole lot better. We're doing, like I said, we're not doing major renos right now. This is just stupid stuff, just to get it to the standard of living that we're used to. And then from there, we will be doing other stuff. I still need to finish the pantry, but I got tired of looking at this wallpaper. So Rome was not built in a day, and this house is not going to get remodeled in one day. Last curtain, last blind, sorry. This one has fallen down about 6 different times. Top right corner is getting ready to fall down. I'm not sponsored by Hunter Douglas. Obviously, I'm not sponsored by anybody. This is a new channel. However, the reason I went with Hunter Douglas, I have a family member that works at Hunter Douglas, and the blinds, like if you go to Lowe's, you can get standard size blinds, like they're really nice ones. I don't have an issue with them, but the windows that we have in the two boys' rooms is not a standard size window. They're massive, and it was cheaper to get through Hunter Douglas. And all these blinds are specifically made for each one of these windows. And they have lifetime warranty. So if it's cheaper than what it was at Lowe's, I just had to wait for a little bit. These were like $420 after taxes. And you know, the standard blinds that are blackout and stuff, which we had in the other house, they're about $60-70. They're really, really nice quality, but these are built for these windows. So super easy. There's 2 screws for each side of the hardware. Just don't mount it close to the, you know, like that part and that part of the window. You got to put it in a little bit. It just snaps in, and that's it. So let me get the couch cat off there, and we're going to rip this down. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. All right, last one done. Still got to get curtains for in here. The other room has curtains for the nursery, but it's a lot better than the paper shades. And then our couch cat, free cat. All right, guys, small update. Really haven't got a whole lot much more done than what the last time. This is probably 3 or 4 days later, at least. Things are happening, and I haven't really been able to be home. So it's like 9:40 at night, and I have the house to myself, so we're gonna work on this a little bit. I am gonna have to go back over everything with the steamer and probably a little goo gone and get rid of everything. But what I wanted to show you, and you can actually see it in the video. For one, I took the mirror down. You can't tell anywhere where it was. There's 0 nicotine stains in here. And there's the towel rack. It's foul. I can tell you this, obviously you're not gonna be able to tell through the video. Once we tore into this, it did not stink until we started tearing into it. And now I almost have to finish it and finish painting because it does stink, which is weird. This house had, like, I don't want to call it an old person odor, but it didn't have a nicotine odor, which is super weird. But when we started tearing into this room, it had the old person odor. Sorry if it offends anyone. So I don't know if that's the smell of nicotine, but either way. Also believe that GFI was, it's broke. There's a screw right here. There's a nail that's got to come out, and maybe down there, I think. Nope, I lied. I don't know, somewhere in here there's another. Oh, it's here. 2 screws broke off. I don't know what they were using. Same wall. So when I get to that, I'm gonna have to take care of this. But 5 more sheets, and we're done. And then I get to go over everything. And as you can tell, I'm gonna throw the mirror. I'm not even putting the mirror back. I'm probably gonna get one of them TikTok shop mirrors, and if I can find a cheap enough light, I might do that. Vanity's gonna stay for now. This is not supposed to be a whole bathroom remodel, but stuff like a mirror and a light we could reuse. So let me finish peeling this off so we can get this room painted. Update 456, almost done. I got there to do. I'm not removing the whole toilet, just gonna remove the tank. I think it'd be a little easier. Got back there, of course, I got to replace a GFI outlet, which failed inspection. And of course, that little bit, which is nothing. We did get a new light fixture. We got a mirror, which I wasn't going to actually wire it in yet, but there's so much drywall work in this room that I might as well just mess it up. There is a screw there, and there's 2 screws there that snapped off. And like I said, I still got to go over everything with the steamer one more time. I'm gonna fix the ceiling up there, paint. I don't want to do a full demo on this, of course, light switches, outlets, but it just kind of turned into more than what I thought it was gonna be. Not replacing the vanity right now, flooring, or the tub, or the door. All right, little update. I did not want to finish this room, and I don't know why. It has taken me way longer than it should. Pretty much all the paper, minus that little piece there. The wallpaper does go behind there. I'm gonna try to get that, but I'm not pulling the vanity out for right now. So that's for another day. And I do have this section, which I'll do shortly, but what I'm doing right now, you can tell how clean the wall is. There's a couple spots I gotta fix. I guess I'm gonna probably have to wipe these down, but I'm getting all the glue residue off. So like, see how clean that is compared to that section. So I probably should have waited to patch some of these spots because it might wipe some of the mud off, but that's okay because I gotta go back and fix some other spots. So this wall completely done minus that little corner. All the glue's gone. Above the door's gone, and over there. I think for today, I'm going to finish that wall. I'm so tired. I don't know what it is. We cannot finish this bathroom. I'm probably on like 2.5 weeks. And I know it needs done. I just don't want to do it. All right, guys. Sorry for the boring content. That's the only bit of wallpaper I have left now. Disclaimer, it is behind there. When I do a new vanity, I'll get that. There's a little bit up around the light. I'll also do that, but I just want to show you how much damage was behind this wallpaper. And there's probably more than I'm missing. There's so much damage in this bathroom. Yeah. So anyway, I already sanded it once, put another coat on. We're going to sand it again tomorrow. I gotta clean all this up. I have to wipe everything down with Dawn. Best thing for the walls is kind of get like a wet rag, and I went over everything. And even with the steamer and the goof off, I still miss spots. So when I'm done sanding, I'm going to do one last wipe down. But next update, we're gonna be painting. And I gotta fix that little bit of the ceiling. There's a little bit of cracking along the tape, but I think I'm gonna leave that alone. Like I said, this is just a refresher. Eventually we're getting a new vanity, toilet stand, we're doing a new floor, trim door, all that. But for right now, I just wanted to get the wallpaper out of here, it stunk. All right guys, almost done with patching it. I'm gonna wait to remove that until the tank gets removed. Remove the old brass light. I gotta remove a little more wallpaper up there. I'm not putting the other light up until it's actually done. Those are both the mirror brackets. All I gotta do is run power wire from there to there so we can plug that in. I'll show you that up next. That's actually pretty cool. Super glad I got that. All right, so everything minus that big strip right there. It's a little ugly, but it will be better. That was a seam in the drywall that they didn't float enough mud across. It was okay back here, but pretty much up to about right there. So I'll have to sand that. That's just the first coat. Everything else has 2 coats. We pulled down the old light, and I still gotta get the wallpaper there. Got the light wired in. That's just temporary because I don't want to put the light up until I paint. But really cool mirror. It's got a defogger. You can select different colors on the front. or no color. Let's turn it off. And then same thing with the backlighting. Purple, red, I think it's green. There's blue. It's like a rainbow. And there's the backlighting. You can change the color of that. So if you wanted, you could have it both like that. For the size of the mirror, it's not bad. It is a 24 by 32, 24 inches wide, 32 inches tall. This is a 30-inch vanity, but I went with this size because the outlet and stuff. So I think it actually fits the space really good. So definitely got to finish sanding. We are in the home stretch. As soon as I get all of this sanded, the rest of the wallpaper removed, I can paint. Still got to replace both of those. Got a new GFI outlet, of course, a new rocker style switch. And then this light, or this switch goes to, I believe, the ceiling fan, which is broke. So that's just to the light part. This is going to be, I'm actually going to turn this into a night light. Eaton provides a rocker style night light, so I used to have one here. So that's what we're going to do with that when the time comes. That's going to be a very last thing. But super cool mirror. I'll post a link in it. I think it's like 119 bucks. Super cool though, like it. All right guys, sorry this video's dragging on. I had to fix, like I showed you, the ceiling in there. Actually that part's good. I didn't have to fix anything back there, but everything that is gray is still drying. You see in the corner, I'll be honest, I've had texture ceilings in other houses before. I didn't do a bad job. As long as it holds and none of the cracks or anything comes back through, not bad. Gotta sand that, gotta sand that, gotta clean all that. Of course, wallpaper. I gotta wipe everything down again. Gotta pull that wallpaper down. The light will be one of the last things that go up. That is the same tamper-proof outlets, which it's behind a mirror, it doesn't matter. But those outlets are going everywhere. New GFCI outlet, or whatever it is, GFI outlet. And of course, new rocker switches. So, gonna sand one last time real quick for tonight. Clean all this mess up, and I'm done. Today is Wednesday. I'm hoping by Friday this room will be completely painted. Bonus part of this video is we're gonna paint the ceiling. You can see the dirt ring from where the other light was, or nicotine, don't know, whatever it is. Anyway, we're gonna texture that little spot. I got a little bit up there to fix. And I know it's a shocker, the tape line. This one is a little more detached. I'm going to try the technique that I did with the other one. I couldn't get completely underneath of it, but basically you fill it up full of mud, push it up, and then kind of retexture along the line. Let me show you. That's gross too. I got another one downstairs in the basement. I don't even know if that will come clean. I might try. Here is, I mean, you really cannot tell. It needs painted, of course. The only spot right there, that's the only spot which I couldn't get underneath of it. Somebody had already tried to do something with it at one point. The rest of it looks really, really good though. All right, not bad for my first attempt. You can tell right there just a little bit, but the rest of it looks really good now. Looks off color because it's super bright white compared to cigarette smoke. Once it dries, texture matches really good. I got a little bit on the wall, it doesn't matter. But there's the dirt ring from the old light. And let me shut this door. There is the ceiling. It looks white. Don't know if this was painted or not. You can kind of tell, like I said, there was a little bit of a fix there. So I've kind of learned with the texture that I was trying to save it because I was worried about it matching, and it's just kind of better if you knock it down and you're able to get behind it to get it to stick. And then you can recreate the texture yourself. So not gonna be able to paint out there. And of course that spot and that big spot needs paint or sanded, but other than that, we're getting the ceiling done tonight, and tomorrow I'll sand this, clean it up in here, and then paint everything. First coat on, looks really good. Trying not to get any on the light, even though it is eventually getting replaced. The ceiling wasn't as bad as what I was expecting, so not gonna show you the second coat. I gotta wait for this to dry a little bit, and then I can't make any noise tonight because my son is sleeping. But I'm gonna sand that and pull the toilet, and we're painting tomorrow. This room is finally done. Then I can hang up our other light. Don't know how good it's gonna be, but it's gotta look better than brass. I edged in around there, light dropped. I gotta roll it. It's only the first coat. I did get there was a new cover downstairs that doesn't fit because the thing's foul. So these are like 150 bucks. We're gonna try to paint it. If it's bad, I'll just buy a new one. All right, guys, we're gonna try to be quiet. It's like 10:30 at night. My son's asleep. So this is the bathroom pretty much finished up. I had to delete 2 video clips. So there was personal information in both of the clips. So I ended up having to delete them. So the last clip that you'll see was me doing the hallway. I'll show you what the ceiling looks like real quick, but it got painted. So of course I was able to get a new GFI outlet. There's the new rocker style switch. Of course the mirror, and this is the new light switch. Everything looks really good. Still haven't got to do that. I did end up having to do, I need to sweep. I made a mess when I was doing that. I had to do a new shut-off valve and thread a nipple down there, and I got to use the new stuff. It's called Pro Dope. Big fan of that stuff. First time I got to use it. I've been seeing it everywhere, but I don't know if you're able. You can kind of see it here, just a little bit. I did kind of a bad job of floating it. Also noticed that I missed this, and then if you really look right there, it's not perfect. And when I get a chance, I am gonna go back over it, but I'm a big fan of this. Everything got cleaned up. Of course, the shower's back, all that. Went ahead and put a new shower arm on. That was cheap, like 12 bucks. I'm trying to figure out what to do about the nightlight, because that part the wiring is just slightly confusing. I think I know what I'm doing, and that will be a tomorrow project. So much better. The nightlight that I got basically looks like one of the squares decorator switches, which is going to go on that side, and then of course that's going to be a rocker like that. So if you guys have watched up to this point, like, share, subscribe. This video is literally, I won't lie to you, this bathroom drug on way too long and I hated it. I'm so glad that it's done because it's really clean. Ceiling got painted. That's eventually getting redone too, but that's not a tonight project. So like, share, subscribe, stay tuned for more content.